Good afternoon. It's tea time, number 34. Before we steep our tea, let's get some cold water and prepare it by boiling it. As our water heats up, let's talk about today's tea. Today's tea will be Oolong by Bigelow. It's part of their classic series, and there are 20 tea bags to the box. Let's read this tea's description. We're proud of our recipe. Although there's just one ingredient in this tea, it took our family years to select the perfect oolong from a special region in Asia. We were searching for a tea with the consistent mellow notes that would go well with almost any meal. Ours in particular is not too dark or too light. It's just right. Let's read this tea's brewing instructions. 2 steps to a great cup. Be sure to start with fresh cold water and bring to a rolling boil. Pour over tea bag, steep for 2 minutes or whatever time you like. Remove bag, but no squeezing, please. For iced tea by the glass, steep a little longer. Pour over ice. Bigelow indicates here this tea's caffeine level is between 30 and 60 milligrams. So I went ahead and Googled the correct temperature that we should be steeping this tea at, although this Bigelow tea box doesn't mention. This tea should be steeped between 185 and 205 degrees Fahrenheit. I just heard our hot water kettle pop or pop up. So that water is ready. We know it's going to be too hot, so we'll wait, but lucky enough, I have recently bought a thermometer, a food thermometer here, and it has a temperature range of 0 degrees Fahrenheit to 220. So this will be perfect for what we need. We have our just under boiling water here. I'm gonna insert our temperature gauge. It's quickly jumping up. It's going to be over 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's wait until our tea is our water is at the proper temperature, and then we'll steep. So I have some odd news. This temperature gauge jumped to 180 and hasn't moved. So if our water was just boiling, that's 212. Our water jumped down that quickly, under 30 seconds to 180. Is this temperature gauge right? I guess we'll add our tea bag and find out. Let's wait the recommended 2 minutes. And once that 2 minutes is up, we'll be able to determine what's going on here. Our 2 minutes of recommended steep time is up. Let's try this tea and see if we burned it or if it's just perfect. I had a few puffs of a cigar a couple hours before this, and I feel like it's still lingering on my clothing and like in my face, on my beard, on my hands. Like no matter how much I wash my face or my hands, there's still going to be smoke kind of lingering. But this tea doesn't taste burnt overall. It is slightly bitter, I think, and that could be due to the temperature of the water. But let's just say all of this temperature gauge that I got, let's just say it's super accurate. This tea overall has been super mild. tasty, and like I said, slightly bitter. Yeah, there's so many reasons why I love oolong tea, and one of the main ones is because they fit, the tea itself fits between green tea and black tea. It doesn't really have any of the harshness that black tea has. It seems like it's a different, well, it is like a different process entirely than those other two leaves or how they're made. But it does have that earthy, spinach, green, chlorophyll kind of taste that green tea has, except in kind of like almost a more aromatic way. Yeah, these teas are just, what I'm getting from this tea specifically is just like super, super cleansing. It's like as much flavor as you can get without it becoming so prominent that it kind of takes over your palate. So it's like dancing on the edge of an aperitif and an actual cocktail drink. Yeah, so this tea it's slightly too heavy for my preference of oolong. But I think as this description, as the description of their tea stated, they're trying to dance, they're trying to walk between that too light and too heavy, too dark taste. And I think they're getting close, and I think that's in general what oolong tea is. But this tea is a little bit too dark for me. So at first I had a hard time finding the rating for this tea. Just because I don't think it's the best I've had, but it's quite a tasty oolong tea. This tea, for me, is a right up, down the middle, 7.5. It makes a lot of sense to me. This tea is great as an accompanist to your life. Probably to a meal, but I don't usually drink tea with meals. But the tea has nice qualities overall. Just wish it was a little bit lighter. But there's not crazy amount of like anything extra to read from this tea. I think once you have a couple sips, you have a general idea of how the rest of the cup is going to go. But that's a review. Thanks so much for hanging out. I always have fun during these reviews, and it always makes me think more about how my life is cyclic and is worth something. And I hope you feel the same way. And with that, I say, have a great rest of your day. Good night, and cheers.